let's talk about the TMC exam. The TMC exam has a total of 160 questions. 140 of them are actual questions that will be graded, while the other 20 questions are just experimental questions for future exams. It is impossible to tell which questions are which, so you must try equally as hard on each and every question. The exam is broken into 2 threshold scores, the low cut and high cut. If you pass with a low cut score, you will be rewarded the CRT credential. If you pass with a high cut score, you will be rewarded the CRT credential, and you will also now be eligible to sit for the clinical simulations exam. Then, if you pass the clinical simulations exam, you will be rewarded your RRT credential. TMC exam rules. The test is fully computer-based, and you will have 3 hours to take the exam. Do not spend too much time on difficult questions that you do not know the answer right away. It's best to just skip them, because you can always bookmark them and revisit them later. In your final analysis, though, it is better to guess or at least pick something than to leave the question unanswered. You will not be able to bring a calculator to use for the exam. A pencil and a sheet of scratch paper will be provided for you. No outside notes or books are allowed. You must return your scratch paper after completing the exam. No personal belongings are allowed in the testing area. You will need to leave them in your car. You may leave the testing area at any time to stretch or use the restroom. Keep in mind, though, that your test timer will not stop. Be on time. If you arrive more than 15 minutes late, you will not be admitted to take the exam. You will need to show 2 forms of identification, with at least one showing a current photograph. Both forms must be current and must include a signature. Forms that are accepted include the following: driver's license, state ID card, valid passport, military ID card. Choose the best answer. The TMC exam is composed of multiple choice questions with 4 possible answers: A, B, C, and D. So you must select the best of the 4 answers. That's right. Unfortunately, there may potentially be 2 answers that could be interpreted as correct. According to the NBRC, it's expected that you will be able to select the best answer of the 2. Most of the questions, however, will distinctly have one answer that is clearly the correct choice. Preparing for the exam. Plan your study time wisely. You should begin studying months in advance, preferably, but at the least, weeks before the exam. Set up a schedule if you have to. Just make sure you keep track of how much time you have left before you take the exam, and don't let time slip away. Practice with real-life exam questions. This is an excellent strategy to help you learn and understand all the information that is required of you. Going through practice questions again and again definitely helped me pass the TMC exam on my first attempt. As I mentioned earlier, you can use our TMC test bank, which has over 1,000 practice questions, exactly like the ones you will see on the real thing. Pace yourself during the exam. You need to make sure you have enough time to get through all the questions. I struggled with this because I almost ran out of time when I took the exam. I had to go through and guess on about 8 questions that I had skipped as the last few seconds ticked away on the timer. Fortunately, I had answered enough questions correctly already to pass the exam with the high cut score. That is why I want to stress this to you, so that you can do a better job than I did. You should shoot for about 55 questions per hour. This should give enough time to answer every question and look over those you aren't sure about. As I stated, the computer software will allow you to bookmark any questions that you want to skip and revisit. Use your scratch paper wisely. This strategy is crucial. Before you start your exam, you will have the opportunity to write out anything you want onto the scratch paper they provide you. You will definitely want to take advantage of this. For instance, I made a drawing of the lung box on my scratch paper and was able to use it all throughout the test to answer questions about PFTs. Also, there were a list of several normal values for mechanical ventilation weaning that I wrote out to refer to during the exam. Just figure out the information that would be useful to you. This will be different for everyone. Look it over one last time before you enter the testing center and make sure you have it memorized. Then, before you begin your test, write it out on your scratch paper to refer to throughout the entire exam. This tip is crucial. Read each question carefully. It's natural for us to want to skim the question and rush to select an answer, especially when our brain is tired. You must focus and completely read each question and answer carefully. You will be able to eliminate at least 2 choices most of the time through the process of elimination. Interpret only the important data. The NBRC, at times, will try to throw you off by including information that is irrelevant to the question. Make sure to disregard the unimportant information that does not pertain to the question being asked. Answer every question. Again, I just want to remind you to answer every question before you submit the exam. It's okay to skip a question you aren't sure about and come back to it later. But before you hit submit, make sure you at least make a guess on every question, because it won't count against you. Prepare your body and mind. This means you should get a good night's rest and eat a good dinner the night before you take the exam. Don't overdo it with the caffeine. Stick with your normal dose. For me, that's usually 1 cup of coffee. Trust me, you will have plenty of adrenaline running through your body as you get ready to begin. Also, avoid sleeping pills, unless this is normal for you, because you definitely don't want to oversleep or wake up feeling groggy. And last, but not least, do not cram. I don't want you to cram all the information into your brain a few days before the exam, especially not the night before. Unfortunately, if you do not know the information by now, then these final few hours really aren't going to make that big of a difference. This test requires more time to truly learn and understand all of the information. Again, shoot for at least 2 months. So there you have it. Thank you so much for listening to this cheat sheet. I know you're going to do incredibly well when you take TMC Exam yourself. Keep working hard and studying harder. You're almost to the finish line, and all your hard work will soon pay off in a big way. I wish you the best of luck on this journey, and as always, breathe easy, my friend.